BYU, Michigan State climb in Andy Katz's men's basketball Power 37 rankings. NCAA's Andy Katz revealed his latest power rankings, notes and awards in his newest weekly World. 5 things that caught my eye last week. Rick Pitino's entrance to Madison Square Garden Sunday to Jay-Z and Alicia Keys' Empire State of Mind was the beginning of a sensational Sunday at the Garden for him and the Street Johns faithful. The scene against UConn was exactly what Pitino and the administration were hoping for when they hired the Hall of Fame coach 2 years ago. I can't remember the last time I went to a UConn game at the Garden and the Huskies weren't the majority fan base. Street Johns is back to where it can fill the arena with a majority of its own fans. Pitino, who is named a Naismith National Coach of the Year, top 15 finalist. A major mea culpa on my part, saved by the rest of the voters, has quickly put together a potential Final Four team that can defend, as well as any team in the country. If the Red Storm can make threes the way they did on Sunday, then they have a real shot at making a run to San Antonio. Jon Scheyer was the right coach at the right time for Duke. He gets this era. He's the perfect player's coach. And the Blue Devils are one of the favorites to win the title with the potential player of the year in Cooper Flagg. But the defense the Blue Devils are playing now was something to behold. They clamped down on Illinois to a level that was similar to what UConn did the Illini in the Elite Eight. There wasn't a 30-0 run, but the Blue Devils pounded Illinois and won by 43. This Duke team is one of the hardest-playing and most entertaining teams put on the floor in Durham since the 2019 Zion Williamson/R.J. Barrett-led team that lost to Michigan State in the Elite Eight. You will notice the absence of a number of high-profile teams from my Power 37 below. I'm sorry, but when Purdue loses 4 in a row, Illinois and UConn get blown out at the Garden, and the way in which Kansas got destroyed in Provo, then it's hard to justify their inclusion in this week's rankings. Multiple reports have Jai Lucas heading to Miami to take over for Jim Larrañaga. Lucas has taken the right steps by working at Texas, Kentucky, and Duke. He's ready for this type of opportunity, has solid contacts, and understands the new landscape. Miami had to hire someone with the ability to play the NIL/portal game in this new world. Working for Rick Barnes, Shaka Smart, John Calipari, and Jon Scheyer gave Lucas quite the coaching education. Jai comes from a basketball family with Father John an All-American at Maryland and former NBA player and coach, Brother John Lucas Oye, a player at Baylor and Oklahoma State, and former NBA player. Michigan's desire to extend Dusty May less than a year into his contract was a great move to quiet any attempts by Indiana to make a move toward him. May has done a tremendous job in rebuilding Michigan into a Big Ten title contender. He can create his own legacy at Michigan, possibly in the mold of John Beilein, who had the Wolverines as a consistent threat to win the league. May has connected well with the players and does a tremendous job of knowing fit. The proof is with his Final Four appearance at FAU, and then getting the right players to fill key spots on this current Wolverine roster. March Madness National Team of the Week. BYU. The Cougars had a season-changing week with a blistering 91-57 win over Kansas, and then a thrilling 96-95 win at Arizona. BYU has won 4 in a row and entered the week 10-6 in the Big 12, 19-8 overall, and looking like a strong NCAA tournament candidate. Richie Saunders had a sensational week with 23 points in the win over Arizona, including 2 clinching free throws with 3.2 seconds remaining. Saunders scored 22 in the stunning win over Kansas. Jace Richardson, Michigan State. The Spartans have been patiently waiting for Richardson to blossom into a full-blown star. He did this past week. The freshman wing was the catalyst in a second-half surge to beat rival Michigan with 21 points in Ann Arbor. He was key in the 9-point win over Purdue with a dozen. Richardson has steadily improved his production at the right time for the Spartans. If he continues to shine, then the Spartans would have the necessary impact player to make a deep NC double a tournament run.